What's up, guys? This is Big D, and once again, you're watching Big D Films. Welcome back to another edition of Road Stories. And if just by chance you happen to miss the first road story, don't you worry, I got you covered. Because it's right there. Go ahead and give that a click, give that a watch, and let me know what you think. But this is a completely different story. And this is the story of Ben and Jerry wanting an original Philly cheesesteak sandwich. And I'm not necessarily referring to the ice cream, but I kinda am. I'll get back to that in a minute. Either way, it is 2012, and to give you a little backstory here to kinda, set the stage so you kinda know what's going on, I've been riding for about a year and a half up to this point, and had just recently joined the riding club that I'm still a part of to this day. And matter of fact, around this time, we had just started our chapter of the riding club. And at this point, it is still mostly family. It's myself, my brother, my mom and dad, an uncle, a couple of cousins. And, it was a big family thing right then, but we were still trying to recruit new members. Well, it's about maybe 3 months or so, maybe 3 or 4, into our new chapter, and we did get a couple new members sign up, and we were very excited about this. And so we all decided to meet and have one of our meetings, as we started doing every month, to try to figure out what it is that we were going to do. And these two new members, we'll call them Ben and Jerry, reasons here in a minute, they decided to come out to this meeting, and this is where this story begins. So we're sitting around the table, we're having this chapter meeting, we're trying to come up with some ride ideas and stuff, and before I get too far, we were talking about our regular stuff, what we talk about at every single meeting, but the time had finally come in the meeting where we asked the question, does anybody have any ride ideas? It was at this point, the first guy, we'll call him Ben, decided to speak up and say, hey, I got a ride idea. And I can't speak for everybody else, but I know for myself, I thought, oh, wow, okay, cool, good deal. These guys, they're a few older guys, brothers, if I remember correctly. They're retired. They probably got some real cool stories themselves, but not only that, they've got a wealth of experience, probably know some really cool places to go. So I was excited for this. So, again, Ben, he says, I got a ride idea. And we're like, cool, let's hear it. And he goes, well, to start off, I think we should head to South Dakota, go visit Mount Rushmore. Huh? Did I just hear you correctly? But before I could ask a question, or before anybody could speak up, he continues. He then says, from there, we should ride out to Philadelphia for an original Philly steak and cheese. Whoa. What is going on? Right? Is what I'm thinking. He continues. And he says, then from there, we'll go up to Vermont for some Ben and Jerry's. And, whoa. Hold on. Time out. Hold the phone. Pump the brakes, man. At this point, we kind of had to give these guys a bit of a reality check. Okay? Mind you, for your information, we are a very young group at this point. We had just started this chapter, and we hadn't gone on any trips whatsoever. It was just local stuff. Some of us barely had any riding experience whatsoever. And again, I kind of felt bad, but we had to say, wait a minute, and give these guys a bit of a reality check. And I said, sir, I need you to look around this room. Out of the group of us, there's maybe 2 or 3 that are an exception to this, but we're all in our early to mid 20s. I mean, even my brother had to be 19 at the time. we haven't been riding very long. We haven't done any trips of any kind. We have no experience with any of this. We all work full-time jobs, and we're barely affording the motorcycles that we're riding as it is. So there is absolutely, positively, 100% no way that this was going to happen. I mean, to go out to Mount Rushmore would be awesome. And now that I have some experience, I would really like to do that. But I gotta tell you, I don't care how good it is. I will never, and I mean ever, go a quarter of the way or halfway across the country for ice cream or a sandwich. I don't care how good it is, it's not gonna happen. Okay? But we kind of had to inform them of this, and we continued on with the meeting. It might have discouraged them a little bit, but we hung out just a little bit longer, and they took off. We never saw Ben and Jerry again after that. I think they were, possibly a little disappointed at the age group, that we had here. The lack of experience at that time. I'm sure that when they signed up with our group, that wasn't quite what they were expecting. But needless to say, this crazy road trip at that stage in our lives was just not going to be a thing. So, again, we never saw them again after that. But that little story right there, I do keep in the back of my mind every once in a while. I think about it, and again, I'd like to see, Mount Rushmore. That would be really, really cool. And I suppose if I ever am in Philadelphia or somewhere in Vermont, I might just have to pick me up a Philly cheesesteak sandwich or some Ben & Jerry's. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little story. Have any of you guys experienced, like, either some friends or some other just acquaintances trying to get you to go on some crazy road trip at the drop of a hat? You let me know in the comments below. And with that being said, this has been another edition of Road Stories. Again, submit your story if you would like me to read it here on the show. And if not, I would just like to hear your stories. And without further to do and anything further to say as far as this story goes, I am Big D. You've been watching Big D Films. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the little bell. And until next time, guys, and until the next story, we'll catch you down the road.